Well, Dave, are you as excited as I am today? Because I am like, you should feel these nipples.
Yeah, no offense, Danny, but I'm not coming anywhere near your nipples.
Okay, that's fair.
Fred,
that's
on
fair.
the other hand, maybe.
Fred's very excited as well.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. I really believe they should have just named this book Viagra for Danny.
Which is accurate. Like, 3 of my very favorite factions, especially my favorite Marine factions for sure, right? Like, with the exception maybe Iron Hands. I really like Iron Hands too.
Yeah, totally.
But, so, today, on Danny's Hot Takes, we're going to be reviewing Psychic Awakening Ritual of the Damned, featuring the Dark Angels, Grey Knights, and Thousand Suns rules.
They're so good.
I know. Like, I'm so unbelievably excited. Like, first of all, like, checking out the artwork in this book, amazing. But I know you guys aren't here for the artwork. Fred wants to see the artwork. He's trying to hang out.
Freddie, get down.
We're just gonna jump right into the rules. We're gonna start with Dark Angels. Dark Angels are the first legion, first in the book. Like, we are hype.
Oh.
So, Dark Angels. Let's talk about them. So, in their current incarnation, Dark Angels a little lackluster, to be honest.
I mean, they were solid when the book first came out,
for sure,
but then they got lapped by a lot of people.
By a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
By most everything. So, in this book, they kind of bring Dark Angels back to where you would expect them to be, with comparatively to normal Marines. They're getting doctrines, they're getting a super doctrine ability, and they're updating a bunch of different data sheets in here as well.
I think they're getting a really good super doctrine ability.
I think it's great. It's not like blatant, obvious OP, like kind of like Iron Hands or Imperial Fists are, right? Like, but it's like super solid, and like it plays into every kind of weapon they have, not just heavy weapons, which is something I really like.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
All right, so first they kind of detail what we're going over: litanies of battle. We're going over stratagems, psychic powers, warlord traits, new data sheets, updated weapons, abilities, and data slates as well. And it kind of has some fluff, on Master Lazarus, and then some fluff on Dark Angels as well. And his model is so cool.
Dude, it's amazing. The only thing I wish they'd done for this model was make it so you could put that helmet on his head.
And we'll see. Maybe you can. We don't know.
Yeah, well,
like, we've never seen the sprues,
You're
right?
You're right.
So it very well could be. Oh, and if that is, woohoo.
I'm converting that for something.
So it goes over some fluff, like the new elements to the Dark Angels chapter, like chaplains, librarians, that kind of stuff. And then let's just go, we're getting into abilities. Let's start talking about abilities. So they get the standard Angels of Death rule, which consists of Vanquish Roll No Fear, Bolter Discipline, Shock Assault, and Combat Doctrines.
Yeah.
All 4 of those rules are underneath Angels of Death. And so Dark Angels get them all. So this means a couple of different things. Number 1, Dark Angels get Doctrines, which is huge.
Yeah. Well, we knew they would.
Sure. Well, we had the idea, right?
I mean, they did it with Blood Angels, so it was just a matter of time.
At that point, I was pretty sure they were going to get them. That being said, since they do have Angels of Death, you can ally them with other Space Marine chapters and still maintain your doctrines, which is pretty cool. That'll give you access to neat Dark Angels abilities and units. So then they also have updates for some of the weapon profiles that have changed, which is great.
Yep, they needed to do that.
And then let's get straight into the rules. So the first guy we have here, Master Lazarus. Master Lazarus, pretty interesting model, I think. He's a normal Primaris captain, right?
Let me pause you there for 2 seconds, Danny. The way that you said that leads you to believe you don't believe that the stat lines and his abilities warrant the high 7 power cost.
Well, okay. So, and let's clarify that as well. It looks like there may have been a misprint in this book a little bit, because I can't find his points anywhere in this book.
I mean, so if he's free...
Which is great, yeah.
He's an amazing model.
But if we kind of go by the formula that they've been going by, and 20 points is equal to 1 power level, so 140 points for him, I'm not sure that that's super good, because that's almost twice as expensive as a normal master.
It's too much money, or too many points. It was especially when you take into account that Pharaohs, who is like...
let's not compare him to him. He's very underpointed.
I think he's perfectly pointed. Hush up, Danny. I'd like to know his points. I think 7 power level puts him too high.
If he's 120 points, then maybe we're talking there. I could see taking him for that for sure. But he's great at fighting, like you would expect any Primaris captain or Primaris captain to be, or master in the case of Dark Angels.
Right.
So he's got 5 base attacks, He has Enmity's Edge, which GW did preview. It's a +2 strength, -4 AP, D3 damage sword that gets to reroll to wound roll, or to wound rolls and damage rolls, against Psychers.
Against Psychers. So
which
he's
is cool.
great for taking out Psychers, yeah.
Well, he's got a bunch of abilities that make him really great against Psychers, right? He's got the Spirit Shield Helm, which gives a 5+ feel no pain effectively to units within 6 inches of him from mortal wounds. And if he loses wounds due to mortal wounds, he gets it on a 4+, which is pretty durable against smites and stuff like that. It can really increase the efficiency of your screen that you're using.
Well, it's also good against Raven Guard that give off mortals on hits as well.
Oh, sure, yeah, for snipers and stuff like that.
Anything that gives off mortal wounds.
He's definitely resilient against that stuff.
Yeah.
And then he also has Intractable Will, which is a really cool ability. Intractable Will means that he gets, only in death does duty end automatically.
Yeah, it's free. He gets back up and swings again.
Yep, which is cool, because that's like probably 6 strength 6 attacks, which is pretty good.
Depending on whether he was charged or not when he was
Sure.
killed. Yeah, easy. And I like it.
Yes.
I mean, I like him a lot.
And the model is great.
The models. So they've done a lot of these new Primaris models. He's the favorite. He's my favorite that I've seen so far.
Oh yeah, by a mile. I really like Primaris Khan. Like that's probably one of my favorite models. He's really cool. But
I like what Primaris Khan does, but at the same time, I'm like,
I like his burb.
Yeah.
So they've upgraded the Interrogator Chaplain and Chaplain profiles throughout the book as well to show to give them the ability to use the priest abilities. Yep.
Right. Just standard upgrades that you've seen across the board for all chaplains so far.
Exactly. And so the Interrogator Chaplain, even though it's better than the normal Chaplain as far as stat line goes, still only gets 1 litany. So something to consider. Only gets 1 litany. He gets 1 litany. Not only. The litanies are great. Like, he's a really cool model and really powerful. So, especially 5-1 Chaplain, I can't really see taking a normal Chaplain over him, to be honest.
So then you just move into Primaris Chaplains, regular
Primaris Chaplains, regular Chaplains, Interrogator Chaplain, and Terminator Armor. We give the Master and Phobos Armor, which we saw with Shadow Spear, and now Dark Angels get a sheet for it. Also Lieutenants.
In Phobos, yeah. Yep. All of the Vanguard units are now available.
They also updated Asmodai sheet. So since Asmodai is the Master of Sanctity for Dark Angels, he does get 2 litanies, which is great.
Yeah.
Otherwise, his abilities or his stat line has appeared not to change. So, still a good model.
So you can't use Faith and Fury to generate a second if you take Asmodai. He is the same as Farios. If you take Farios for Iron Hands, he is your Master of the Forge. So
right. Now, you're right. Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and Space Wolves don't have access to those stratagems because they specifically say Codex Space Marines. So they can't make a Master of Sanctity or a Chief Librarian or anything like that, or any of those.
Get in line, Dark Angels. Fall in and start following the Codex, and Papa G-Man will give you some love.
Fair enough. They did update the Primaris Master sheet, which I was happy to see. They made the Primaris Master able to kind of switch around his weapons a little bit, so he can take a Power Fist and a Mastercrafted Bolt Rifle of whatever you actually want, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Which does reflect the new model that you can build out of the Lazarus kit, which is cool. Upgraded Intercessors with their new weapon options, Infiltrators, Incursors, Invictors, Suppressors, Eliminators.
None of these stats have changed at all.
Nope, these are all the same as they would be in Codex Space Marines. They're just now new and improved and imprint for Dark Angels. So the next we have Angels of Death. So this kind of details what abilities Dark Angels get if you make a pure Dark Angels detachment.
Right.
Also, if you make a pure Dark Angels army, which comes later on.
So they give you basically, here's the Dark Angels super doctrine.
Right.
So
Grim Resolve didn't change, unlike the Blood Angels chapter tactic, which got an additional ability. Grim Resolve remained. Reroll hits of 1 for ranged attacks as long as they didn't move.
It was always decent.
Yeah.
So I mean, it didn't need a change.
And they never lose more than 1 model to morale, which is cool too. So they have they gain the Relentless Hunt, which is if they're in Devastator Doctrine,
really
all the
good.
Heavy and rapid fire weapons get plus 6 inches. Pistols
You can't go wrong with an extra
and assault
6.
weapons get an extra. Nobody can.
Yeah.
No, everybody wants an extra 6. I don't know. 6 might be too many. I like the 3 that you get from assault weapons and pistol weapons.
I love a lot of what I see in the 3.
Yeah, for sure.
So good.
People make do with 3 all the time. So we've got our stratagems page here, and the stratagems, Dark Angels get 3 whole pages of stratagems, which is
now a lot of them are just reprints.
well, reprints from they're all new for Dark Angels, right?
Right.
If you haven't seen them, it's new to you, right? So for Dark Angels, these are all new stratagems that you get. But a lot of them are reprinted from the Space Marine book, like Veteran Intercessors, Bolt Storm, that kind of stuff. But we do get some new ones. We get High Speed Focus, and so this, High Speed Focus. So in this one, if you target a Ravenwing unit, you can use this stratagem, and they count as having Jinked, which is awesome. That means they get a 4+ invulnerable save.
Freaking hate Jink. I always hated Jink. Just hate it so much.
Note that they did get Fury of the First, which is an amazing stratagem. Fury of the First is any Deathwing Terminator unit gets +1 hit, and you use that in a phase. So that's amazing. Let's see, what else do we have? Steady Advance is pretty cool. You count as not having moved for the purpose of Bolter Discipline, which is nice.
Yep, you get to rapid fire.
And they get to reroll 1s because they're Dark Angels.
Yep.
If you don't have a character around them, of course. You've got Hero of the Chapter. Now, this did change, actually, from the Space Marine version. Hero of the Chapter is only usable once per battle. So Space Marines can use this multiple times and get multiple heroes with different Warlord traits. And now Dark Angels have one extra character to give a Warlord trait to.
Well, I wonder if maybe we'll see that down the line for regular Space Marines being a change.
I really feel like it's a good move if they do that. I think
It should, yes, 100%. Yep. So,
and then you've got Gene Rot Might, of course, which is the same. Stand Firm. Stand Firm is a great one. It gives all your Deathwing one. You can pop it when you get targeted by an attack, and the Deathwing unit gets +1 toughness. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, you gotta love a 6 toughness freaking Terminator.
Heck yeah, it's awesome. You got Targeting Guidance, so you can pick an enemy unit within 12 inches of a Ravenwing Land Speeder, and friendly Dark Angels units get to reroll misses against that unit, or reroll hits, so that's better than misses.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, and that makes some of the Dark Angels Land Speeders a little bit more tempting. One nice thing about this, all of the Talon Masters and Samael in Corvex have the Land Speeder keyword, and so those units were already really good. Now they're even better.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine them fielding this, that's amazing.
Just flying out. It's kind of very, Jackal Alphas, where you just target something and say, go get it, boys,
Right. And it's not, just 1 second here. It's not shooting. Oh, no, it's at the end of it's during the phase. Okay, never mind. We're good. Yep. All right. So we've got Full Throttle. This one, you can move a Ravenwing unit twice, but you can't advance them the second time. And they can't shoot or charge, which is fine.
Yeah, I like it. A way to get across the board.
Well, that lets you move Ravenwing unit 34 inches in 1 turn, which is really great.
And then Combined Assault.
Yep. So this one they previewed on GW, so I won't go over this super heavily, but it's a be strategy.
Yeah, it's really good.
Being able to deep strike your Deathwing Knights within 6 or like just outside of 6 inches, and then also having them be able to be affected by the Chaplain Litany for +2 inches to charge means that you can get a 4-inch charge on your Terminators. I love it. I love it.
Transhuman, which we all know.
Which we all know and love.
Yeah, well, I don't love it, but that's because I don't have to use it.
Well, you don't have any infantry models in your army.
That's why I don't have to use it. Shut up, Danny.
All right. So Adaptive Strategy lets you switch a backwards one for Doctrines, which is cool. And that's something that Space Marines have. I don't know if Blood Angels have that or not. I don't remember. I don't think that they do. I think they have to go, and once they hit Assault, that's it for them. Evasive Assault. This one, use it in the fight phase. You can target a Ravenwing biker unit. They get a 5+ invulnerable save, so that's pretty cool in combat. Yeah, especially for your Black Knights or something else that's good in close combat.
Yeah, it's super good.
And then Outnumbered but Never Outmatched is a Deathwing stratagem, and this is used on a Terminator unit. Or anyway, it actually doesn't matter Terminators. It could be any Deathwing unit. There's a lot of characters in the Dark Angels book that have the Deathwing keyword, which will become more important later on as we look at the relics and other things like that. But if you're outnumbered by, if you're attacking a unit that has 10 or more models, you get +1 attack.
Yeah, cool. So it's another way to get an extra attack. And more attacks are always good.
And Dark Angels actually have a lot of ways to get extra attacks. So they can really pump out a bunch of attacks. You can get +1 attack for your, like on Deathwing units specifically, +1 attack from your banner, +1 attack from Asmodai, because he gives an aura of +1 attack. And then this, so you can get +3 attacks plus shock assault, so you can get 6 attacks each on Deathwing Knights. That's pretty baller.
I don't like it.
Yep.
I'm not a fan. And then
Honor by the Rock, and this lets you give Dark Angel's relics to successor chapters.
Which, at this point, I've just kind of come to the conclusion is kind of a wasted stratagem.
It's just people want to take successors. They can.
I was going to say, no,
fluff.
Right, in fluff matches it works, but in competitive, people are just like, I'm Dark Angels. No, I didn't paint them green. They're purple, okay?
Just deal with it.
Yeah, so...
All right, they give you the obscuration. Obscuration. Thank you.
It's the
it took me a
it's
second
the
there.
Vanguard Lieutenant's special powers from space.
Psychic
powers,
yeah, the librarian.
Yeah.
Phobos librarian. And then they have the Vanguard Warlord traits as well. These are exactly the same as they were in Codex Space Marines. And then you get to the Deathwing and Ravenwing Warlord traits. So there's 3 Warlord traits for each different sub-faction within Dark Angels. The Deathwing ones are amazing. Ravenwing ones are also pretty darn good. They're both very good. Deathwing ones, Lalo the Mighty is probably my favorite of all the Warlord traits in here. This lets you reroll to wound rolls for attacks made by Deathwing units within 6 inches of a character, as long as the target is a character or has 8 or more wounds. So that's huge.
Demons, dreadnoughts, just
Any kind of vehicle.
any vehicle.
Yeah, amazing. Inexorable is another one, and this lets you... this means you're only ever wounded on a 1 through 3, so you always have transhuman up. So 1 through 3 always fails.
Yeah, and it's really awesome.
That's a great Warlord trait. Watched is really situationally amazing. Like, it's just, you get once per game, you auto-deny a Psyker. It doesn't even matter if you're within 24. You're just like, nope, your power doesn't happen.
Oh, what is that? No, I don't think so. Not this time.
Yeah, Death X, hard pass. Hard pass. Thanks for that, Fred.
It's right on your shoe.
Yep. All right, and then we've got impeccable mobility. Man, I cannot read today, apparently. Impeccable mobility is Ravenwing units within 6 inches of the Warlord don't suffer the penalty for moving and shooting heavy weapons or advancing and firing assault weapons.
Yeah, I like it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Especially good on land speeders.
I'm so glad this book wasn't out when you were at Charity Hammer and played against, who was it, Darren? Who brought the...
oh, no, Adam. Yeah.
Adam.
Yeah, he had all the Talon Masters.
Absolutely disgustingly awesome conversions.
Yeah, those were really cool.
Can you imagine him with actual rules?
Yeah. Hard pass.
Yeah. I mean, you beat it pretty handily. That would suck if you had to go back and do it again now when he gets to use this.
Now I can just hold that over him for the rest of his life. The other things we have here for the Ravenwing traits, we have Tactically Flexible. And this lets you, when you resolve an attack within 6 inches of your Warlord by a Ravenwing unit, you can just pick a combat doctrine and have that active.
Yeah, you could have 2 going at the same time, right?
Right. So, like, for instance, if you wanted Assault Doctrine going on your Black Knights, but you have Devastator Doctrine going because
you're going to stay at Devastator
seriously.
for the range, yeah.
Right, so that becomes an issue. But then it's not, because you're in Assault Doctrine. It's time to party. And then you have Outrider, and this lets you do a pre-game move. So your Warlord and one other Ravenwing unit can move 12 inches as if it were the movement phase, and they have to just end 9 inches away from enemy models. So that's super powerful.
Especially if you're going first.
Right, and you're going to know when you use this.
Right.
So you could either bring them out or tuck them back in somewhere if you want to. You have a lot of options.
It's super flexible. I like it.
For sure. And then we have Relics of Caliban, and this one here gives 3 relics for Ravenwing, 3 relics for Deathwing. So for Ravenwing, we have the Reliquary of the Repentant, and this one...
I love this one.
Yeah, this one's really good. It's like a permanent jinx that's happening all the time within 3 inches of that model. And it has to be Ravenwing Biker model, so you're talking about...
Like a Talon Master. Well, no, not a Talon Master.
I think you have the Ravenwing Apothecary, the Ravenwing Ancient, the guy with a banner, or the Ravenwing Champion, I think, can all take these. All of those would be good, though, because that would be really annoying.
Well, I mean, maybe it's temporary until we find out about the Primaris Ravenwing Bikers.
Oh, yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Fantasy Dream.
Yeah.
But -1 to an 8-bone save? So
huge,
good.
Yeah, huge.
So
huge.
good.
Especially if they can't do anything about it.
Right. Well, and they can't, because it's not like Null Zone. Somebody can be like,
they can auto
I'm gonna go ahead and auto deny it with my Deathwing trait. Nope.
Nope, you're just gonna have to suffer through it, guys.
Yep.
Then you have the Corvus Oculus. This actually might be the best one in here, I think. I don't know, it's pretty close. This one you give to a Ravenwing Talonmaster, adds 6 inches to the range of ranged weapons for him, and you get +1 to hit with ranged weapons.
All right, so just so we're verifying here, already you're in Devastator, so depending on what you have on there, it's heavy weapons, which means you're getting an extra 6 inches. Is this going to stack with your Super Doctrine?
Yep. Plus 12 inches.
So you get an extra 12 inches.
Yep.
I saw that video once.
Yeah.
Did not end well for the person.
Nobody wants to see that video.
Oh.
Yet. So 48-inch range heavy bolter,
No.
36-inch range assault cannons on that.
That is also getting +1 to hit?
Yep. So you can ignore the move and shoot penalty. Or you can use another thing later on and ignore it altogether anyway. So you're hitting on a 1+, but that'll go...
Neat. To a 2+.
Well, I mean, it'll go to a 2+ only if you're shooting at a flyer, right? Or something that you're already getting -1, but you're still hitting on 2s, which is amazing. And then you have the standard of the Unforgiving Hunt. This is a Ravenwing Ancient model. Add +1 to advance and charge rolls made for Ravenwing units within 6 inches of here when the bear when the roll is made, which is amazing.
Yes, it's good.
Deathwing have 3. They have the Blade of Burden. This is only for a Deathwing Master model. This is a...
I feel like
it's
these
kind of
names
like
are,
a relic.
I think these names are wrong for the Deathwing. I mean, shouldn't this be like instead of what is it?
Blade of Burden.
But shouldn't it be like the blade of tribes walking or something like
No,
that?
no, it will not be. We're not doing any kind of stinking weasel.
What's the next one?
Screaming eagle.
Planet of the Remembrance. Shouldn't it be like Planet of the Feather?
Oh
Penance.
my god. Anyway, all right. So
Feather of Penance would have been perfect, man. It works just fine. They all have feathers on their models.
They do have feathers. I can't even argue that.
Yeah.
All right. So Blade of Burden, Deathwing Master model with the Power Sword. It replaces the Power Sword, turns it basically into a relic blade that's AP -4 and 2 flat damage. And if you roll a 6 to wound, it automatically just inflicts 2 mortal wounds instead of normal damage.
Luckily Lazarus will be around to allow me to ignore those on a 5+.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
See?
that's
yet another thing that makes Lazarus even better. I mean, just
or you can take the Pennant of Remembrance.
The Feather of Remembrance.
Yeah,
okay.
the Feather of Remembrance is a Deathwing Ancient model only. Friendly Deathwing infantry unit models within 6 inches of him get 5 up, feel no pain.
So, all right. So you get Lazarus. He's standing next to your Hellblasters or whatever, or your intercessors, because only crazy people try to do massed intercessor Dark Angel squads.
Crazy people and me.
Yeah. Oh no, I meant you. That was
fair,
what I meant.
Fair. I see.
So you take him and you take that, and now you're getting feel no pains against mortals and just feel no pains. You don't need to take him. You can actually just take this, right?
But yet true. But this only affects Deathwing units, not any other kinds of units. So that's mostly Terminators and characters that will get that.
But isn't his helmet just?
Lazarus's helmet is everyone.
That's what I'm saying.
But this won't affect intercessors.
It's like you didn't just buy 100 Deathwing Knights from somebody else.
Does it affect him? I don't have 100. I only have like 30.
Sorry, my bad.
Let's see. I just wanted to check and make sure. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, Deathwing. The veteran intercessors do not get the Deathwing roll. I just wanted to double check that.
Oh man, that would be some OP craziness.
And then you have Key of Archibald, which is great. This is a Deathwing one. Only add +1 strength and +1 attack. So it's basically the intoxicating elixir from Chaos.
Oof.
But on a Smash Captain, that's a pretty good item.
Could you can't have can
Yeah,
you have a Deathwing Smash Captain?
Yes, because most of the non-Primaris character models have the Deathwing keyword because they're in the inner circle.
Oh, you're right, because of the inner circle.
Yep. Or you can put them in Terminator.
That doesn't seem bad at all.
It's pretty good.
Sakes.
Yeah,
that's pretty solid.
Yep, nothing like a 6 attack, strength 10 Smash Captain, right?
Oof, good lord.
All right, then we've got some special issue war gear. These are pretty cool. We've got the standard Adamantine Mantle, Artificial Armor, Mastercrafted Weapon, Digital Weapons. All those are great. We all know and love them very much. Then we have Arbiter's Gaze. So you give this to a model and they ignore negative to hit modifiers and ballistic skill modifiers, and when they overwatch, they use their normal ballistic skill.
I mean, that seems pretty good.
It's not bad.
Can you give it to a Repulsor Executioner, please?
No, but you can give it to a Talonmaster. So get ready for that one, guys.
Here it comes.
Because that's something that'll be happening.
I'm charging you with my Smash Captain. All right, that's fine. I'm hitting on 2s.
Yep, here's 18 shots at strength 6 and strength 5. And I'm rerolling misses because I'm close to semi. Anyway, so then we have Angel's Ambit, and this increases...
I think that somebody just forgot to put a G on there.
No, anyway. It's not...
It's a sexy winged helm.
Take a minute. Yes. It increases your auras by 3 inches, which is great.
Which is the same as the Vox Espiritum from...
Yep, that's exactly right.
So, since they don't have access to that, they have
They
access
have
to
access to this instead, which is awesome.
That's really good.
And the final one is their special bolt round ammunition, which I really like. This is
I
called
love
Bolts
the
of
bolt
Judgment.
round ammunition.
They're all really cool, right?
They're just cool and fluffy.
And this one might be the best one. I don't know.
So far.
Yeah, so you always... so it's one shot. It's AP -2, damage 3. So what I like about this is you put it on a sergeant of an eliminator squad. I think I like this combo.
Okay, Sergeant of an Eliminator Squad.
Yep. And then you have him shoot the no line of
Do
sight
the sniper
round.
rifles count as bolt weapons?
They are bolter sniper rifles. That's the name.
Okay.
That's the title. So it checks out there. So you can shoot no line of sight with this. And if you're in Devastator, it would be AP -3, damage 3.
Hitting on 2s because the no line of sight hits on 2s.
Yep, pretty much. And you wound on 2s unless you shoot at a vehicle or a monster.
And a wound roll of a 6 is successful. If the
Only
target-
for those
yeah.
ones. But for any other unit, it's a 2+.
So just absolutely sniping characters.
Yep, that's a pretty good
Like a
character
boss.
sniper. Yep.
Okay.
And it'll ignore cover as well.
Yep.
All right. So they added one new litany of battle that all Dark Angels librarians get, and
Or
they did
chaplains.
Oh, I'm sorry, chaplains. You're 100% correct.
People on the internet would go crazy if you're like, Dark Angels librarians also became chaplains? What the fork?
Yeah, they get extra abilities, sure. They're not Grey Knight chaplains, which we will get to in a moment.
Grey Knights, I can't believe they have chaplains.
They sure do, Dave.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't they?
Because they're not real Space Marines.
Hey, let's not get crazy. They are real Space Marines. So Dark Angels get stoic. Is it stoic precision?
So that if you're
Prosecution. There it is. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't read it for a second. And what this lets them do is they count as not having moved. They count as not having moved when this is active within a 6-inch bubble from the chaplain. So they can shoot with their ranged weapons without penalty.
Yep.
They get to reroll 1s.
Yep.
Super powerful ability.
Yeah, I like it a lot actually.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
So it affects a bunch of different things. So this makes Dark Angels aggressors really good because they count as having not moved. So they get to double shoot, and they get +3 inches of range.
And +1 to and reroll 1s.
Right.
Good lord.
So there's no AP on those attacks, but whatever. They still get to shoot like a million times.
Sweet, sweet Jesus. All right.
So I think that's a pretty valid strategy. And then they also reprint. Oh, they have a name generator.
I mean,
Yeah.
52.
What a great 52. Oh, we got this. All right. That's for the first name. Canis.
Oh, and then 12.
Zaboriel.
Canis Zaboriel?
Yeah.
Did they cross-reference a Space Wolf?
No, it's not Canis. It's Icanis.
Oh, Icanis.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Was like
Or
this,
Icanus.
this sounds like a Space Wolf mated with a Dark Angel to get that name.
Oof. The Lion and the Wolf.
And then points values.
Yep. And they give you
Which-
points values for everything, which are the same as in chapter approved.
Everything, Danny?
In fact, every single thing in there.
Really? Do you think all the points in there? There's points in there for everything? Every model that was listed in the Dark Angel?
No, I said it's exactly the same as the points they had in chapter approved, which means that there's no points for Lazarus. Yep. So that's the thing that happened. I'm sure that'll be day one fact, and we'll be able to play with him soon.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, he's really cool.
So, yeah.
So next, we're moving on to the Sons of Titan, the Grey Knights. The Grey Knights, of course, have been traditionally an extremely psychic-heavy chapter.
Yes.
In fact, every member of their chapter is also a psyker, so that's really powerful.
By the way, for anybody that is confused, Danny and I decided that for this book, because some of the stuff is so juicy, we're just going to run straight through. So we're not, normally we break it up into each individual video, but this time we're not. just as a heads up. So those of you that finished watching Dark Angels and are like, well, I want to know where's the Thousand Suns video. Well, it'll be after the Grey Knights in this video.
Yep.
So get on our level.
So get used to it and listen to all these cool abilities because you're going to need to know it when you're playing against them anyway.
All right, now as we go into Grey Knights.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's stop.
I got to tell you, Danny.
Yeah.
I looked at Grey Knights, and I have to say I was not impressed. I said I don't know a lot about Grey Knights per se, but
Okay.
it left me going, eh. But you, on the other hand, are going, woohoo!
Yeah, I think that this is this is probably the big winner of the book. Okay, so if I were to rank the things, like we're stopping in the middle to rank, right? No, you know what? I'll wait till the end. We'll talk about it at the end. We'll talk about overall impressions of the book. But I think Grey Knights are amazing. I think that this is like this is probably the best iteration of the rules since 5th edition. This together
Wasn't
with their
5th
codex.
edition Grey Knights what broke the game?
Oh, they were so bad, man. They were
Great.
so bad.
I was hoping that we could go back to that.
But this is more balanced, but more fun for people who are playing Grey Knights. So, first thing that they get, if your entire army is entirely Grey Knights, you get to use these different tides. It's the Masters of the Warp rule.
I do really like this. This is unique in ability.
It's really cool.
So is it this page? That was one thing I noticed was you cannot soup Grey Knights with Space Marine.
No, they do not have Angels of Death.
Right.
They have Bolter Discipline, and they have Shock Assault. And then they have Masters of the Warp, which we have here as well.
Yeah.
So what this does is at the start of the first battle round, they pick which tide is dominant. There is a psychic power, which we'll go over later, that lets you change which tide it is during the psychic phase, which is huge.
So just to let Grey Knight players understand completely, a tide is what is replacing your doctrines.
Yep.
Okay?
They don't get doctrines, they get tides.
Tide, singular to start the game.
Well, yeah, but you're going to probably switch between tides as the game goes on.
Right, because...
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you're amazing. You only ever need the one.
I mean, well, so this is... So you whoa!
Oops, sorry. Little Fred quake there.
Hold on. We gotta... Come my way just a hair, Danny. There you go.
Cool. Are we
All
good?
right. Man, I don't know. I can barely see it myself. Just...
Oh, man.
But, it's fine. Nobody's watching this
Sure.
for Grey Knights anyway. Nobody plays Grey
Oh, Dave. All right. So,
the way tides work is you get the bonus depending on which tide you've got dominant. So at the
Yep.
start of the first battle round, you chooch.
You're a
Chooch.
train. You're a train, Dave. You're a train.
You choo train your way into whichever tide is dominant. The dominant tide can be changed only using the warp shaping psychic power. So basically,
Correct.
you are choosing your doctrine for the game, the entire game you're playing, with the ability to swap it at any point in time with a psychic power.
Right. And it has to be during the psychic phase. So you're going to have to live with your choice once you've made it for the whole for the whole battle round after that. But they're all good. Like none of them are bad.
Oh no, none of them are bad. That was the one thing I was like, well, these seem really decently powerful.
Yep.
And you choose after you deploy.
Right. No, after you know who's going first. Because it's at the start of the first battle round.
Right, so you deploy beforehand.
Right.
And then you get to choose after that. So after you've deployed and you know who's going first, then you get to decide.
Yep.
And that's really strong.
Yeah, especially since there's a really great defensive one. in
Really
here,
wish I could change my chapter mid game right after I finish deploying and I know
Right.
that Danny's going first with his Grey Knights. So I'd be like, I decided this time I don't want to be Iron Hands, Danny. I'm going to be Raven Guard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they have 4 different tides. You get the Tide of Fury, which lets you re-roll to wound rolls of 1 in the fight with a Nemesis weapon. So that's pretty much going to be in the fight phase. You've got the Tide of Convergence. So this adds +1 to the strength and damage characteristic of psi weapons. Now this is a new category of weapons that they've defined in the book here. And that includes psi cannons, silencers, twin and of all varieties. So
By the way,
heavy,
the name of the silencer as a name for a weapon hurts me in my soul.
and also, interestingly, this also affects storm bolters that are affected by the psi bolt ammunition rule, which is huge because that's a stratagem that they have. And when you use the stratagem, your psi bolt your storm bolters or whatever psi or bolter weapon you use gets +1 strength and -1 AP. So you get an additional +1 strength and additional damage on those. So that means in this particular tide, you have with that stratagem, you will have strength 6 -1 AP 2 damage storm bolters. So that's pretty cool.
Well, surely that's not possible, but okay.
Oh, but it is.
Oh. And mind you, this is only for infantry. So like if you got psi weapons on your Dread Knights, your Nemesis Dread Knights, it's not going to affect them. Unless Nemesis Dread Knights have the infantry keyword.
Correct. But the other tides will affect other units equally.
So
then you've got the Tide of Shadows, and this is kind of like the Raven Guard chapter tactic, except it's better. That there's no range restriction, so if you're within 12 inches, you're still getting cover. Or if you're on terrain, you're also getting -1 hit.
Yeah, no, it's really strong, especially since you get to choose it after you know who's going first. So you deploy, and they win the roll, and you're like, well, Dave's going first. I'll just do this, and then no 2 CP for concealed positions.
Yep, exactly.
You get it for free, and then in your turn, you get to go psychic power.
Yep, and then so first, before you cast any other psychic powers, you pop that one, switch it over to the next one, which I think is probably the best one, and that's Tide of Escalation.
I do too, 100%.
And this means whenever you manifest Smite, you do an additional mortal wound. So that means that your normal squads are doing 2 mortal wounds, your purifiers are doing D6 plus 1 mortal wounds, and your against demons, you're doing flat 4 mortal wounds to any demon that you get smite off on, which is so gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so brutal.
You just move.
Yep.
Suck on that, Jim Vessel.
So, see, they rewrote the chaplain data sheet. Chaplains get for Grey Knight chaplains. So the normal stats. Yeah, well,
I've never seen a single Grey Knight player use a Grey Knight chaplain.
They will now, I think.
Yeah, to 100% they will.
So they only get to use 1 litany, but they know Litany of Hate plus 2 more from the Grey Knight specific litany lore, more or less.
Yeah, they know 3.
Right, which is awesome.
Which is huge.
Yeah, that's super cool. It gives them a lot of versatility because you're probably only taking 1 chaplain.
Probably.
Yep.
But they also have all the other rules. So.
Oh, did I mention that they also get 2 whole pages of stratagems, Dave?
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. So you've got transhuman physiology, which we know we love,
and I don't want them to have, but okay. That's the last thing I wanted you to have access to.
Master of Combat is basically for a paladin unit. The whole paladin unit gets even in death duty doesn't end. So.
Hooray!
So they get to fight on death with a bunch of paladins. Amazing.
Ugh.
Vengeance of the Machine Spirit is the same as Codex Space Marines.
Yeah, it's not as good because you don't have access to repulsors and other stuff. I don't think that one's gonna actually see play.
Yeah, you could use it on the Land Raider. But Grey Knights do take Land Raiders actually, occasionally.
I mean, not good Grey Knight players.
I don't know. All right, man. Anyway. So overwhelming assault.
Oh man, I'm so salty towards Grey Knight players.
I know,
right now.
dude. Yeah, why the hate, Dave?
No, it's because of that Nemesis Dread Knight video from GW from back in the day. I hate it.
Fair enough.
I love the video, but I hate the model.
Overwhelming assault is, speaking of Nemesis Dread Knights, this is so basically almost every single unit in the Grey Knight book that's like a non-character unit got a special stratagem for it.
Yeah.
So overwhelming assault. Is on a Nemesis Dread Knight. They get +1 attack, and when resolving an attack, they can reroll to wound rolls of 1 and damage rolls of 1. That's really good.
Yeah, it is. I like it.
Then you got Dynamic Insertion, which they previewed,
which is
you strike within 3 inches or just outside of 3 inches, but no charge. But you can smite and then shoot a bunch of Stormbolter shots.
Yeah, I was like, or you could drop in, some guys with Stormbolters that are also going to do string 6, the AP -12, 5 damage shots or whatever it was you mathed out on.
You got it.
At 3 inches, so you're just a unit of anything is dead.
So this one's really, really powerful. Bring down the beast. This is a Grey Knights unit from your army. It's 2 CP. Basically, whenever you pick an enemy unit, after shooting with another Grey Knights unit, you pick an enemy unit. If they're a vehicle or a monster, you get to reroll to wound rolls from Grey Knight units.
Against that. You basically are...
Oh, right. Sorry. That unit gets to reroll failed to wound rolls against that. That's super powerful. Like, especially if you take like a squad of 10 paladins or something like that with Stormbolters and buff them up with all the other abilities, you can just like ace a tank, no problem. Like, it's dead.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
You shoot with Johnny one shot. Some random character takes pops a shot off. Your new chaplain that you're fielding for some reason.
Sure.
Takes a shot at an exocrine or whatever and hits it. Then you pop this. Then every other Grey Knight unit after that.
No, just the same unit. By a friendly Grey Knight.
Friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, friendly.
Okay, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so I read it right the first time. Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's so good. That's even better than I originally thought it was. That's gross. That's a lot of Stormbolter shots, and that's a lot of pain.
He shoots. You drop the Stormbolter guys. You drop the Stormbolter guys in. Chaplain shoots. Stormbolter guys just melt it.
Yep.
Just melt it.
It's good. Big Guns Never Tire is really great because in Grey Knights, you're oftentimes moving with your Nemesis Dread Knights all the time, and they don't ignore the penalty. So this gives them +1 to hit effectively. You've got Fury of the Proven. This is basically the same as Fury of the First for other Space Marine chapters. So +1 to hit on a Terminator unit, either in the fight phase or the shooting phase.
Yep.
You've got Powerful Adept. So this one lets you increase psychic powers by 6 inches for that unit, which is rad.
Yikes!
So you can potentially get plus 12 inches on a guy if you have the brother. Well, no, it's plus 6 inches on other stuff.
We already said that getting 12 inches was bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's so Grey Knight Psyker. Clarify for me. Every unit is a Grey Knight Psyker, isn't it?
Correct. Okay.
It's weird to me that when I read that I went, are there non-Grey Knight Psyker units?
Vehicles. Some of the vehicles aren't Psykers. Some of them. Because Dreadnoughts are.
Dreadnoughts or Dread Knights?
Well, both. Both are Psykers.
Yeah. Well, because they're piloted by
dudes.
By dudes, yeah.
Well, they're all piloted by dudes. So, anyway. So then you've got Duty Eternal, which is the half damage Dreadnought strat, which is great. You've got Fight on the Moves. This is for a Grey Knight Interceptor squad. So these are the guys with the teleporters. They can choose to shoot or charge even if they fell back, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.
So they can just get out of combat.
Anytime
and
you can do that with a unit is always good.
And again, 1 CP, great price for that stratagem.
Yep.
So this might be the best stratagem in the book. There's a bunch of really good ones. This one's really good.
Oh, man, I don't know. There's some really good stratagems.
So this one is when you manifest a power, you use the stratagem. Any Grey Knights within 6 inches of that unit that manifest a power for that phase get +1 to their cast.
Yeah, that's
so. You use this if you use this on Empiric Channeling, or whatever it is, the one that changed the tide. I forgot what that's called.
it's it's a psychic power, so I don't have access to it right this second.
Let's see here. I want to get the name right. Warp Shaping. So use that on Warp Shaping first, like the first power you cast in the phase, because you only need a 4 to get Warp Shaping off, right?
Yep.
Then all of your other Grey Knights, by the way, all Grey Knights already get +1 to cast psychic powers, so this is +2 on everything. So that means their smites never go up, so they're smiting on 3s. Everybody's smiting on 3s. And if they're close to a brother captain, then all your smites are 24 inches instead of 18 inches. So literally, you walk up your army on the first turn, pop this, change over, and then just blow somebody away with mortal wounds. For 1,500 points, you can get a bunch of characters, 6 characters, and get a bunch of interceptor squads. An interceptor squad is only 85 points, and they get a bunch of Stormbolter attacks. They get some good close combat attacks, and then they can all smite. So you can do 30 mortal wounds in one psychic phase, no problem. And that'll just end some armies. And then you also get to shoot with all those Stormbolters, and you can fight too. There's so much stuff going on.
My head just exploded. It's
very good.
It's dumb.
Yeah, it's good. It's really powerful. Anyway, so then you have Redoubtable Defense. Ooh, baby, is this a good one? So basically, it costs 1 CP if your unit is 5 models, or 2 CP if it's more than 5 models.
That's how you know it's going to be good.
Yeah,
when they break it down by number of models.
And so it's on a Grey Knight Terminator unit, and they get -1 damage. So this is super powerful with Paladins, because Paladins already have 3 wounds, and so making them -1 damage, so they're only taking 1 damage per hit, is crazy good. So that's a stratagem that's really good.
Yeah, it is. Oof. Okay.
Steady advance lets you move and shoot bolters like you didn't move, which is cool.
Yeah, yep, because they have the bolter.
Right. So so keep in mind this is only going to be really useful on Grey Knight strike squads or purifier squads or something like that, because Grey Knight Terminators already get to shoot full shots at 24 inches.
Yeah.
So no big deal there. And then you've got
Untainted and Unbowed.
Oh man. So first of all, purifiers are my favorite unit from the book. Like in the fluff, I think they're really, really cool.
Those are the ones that are psi flamers, right? Basically, the weapons. They're like.
Well, yeah, they have to get really close to them, but they do d6 damage on their smite.
Right.
Which is cool. This gives them, if you target them with an attack, a 4-up invulnerable save and auto pass morale tests. So good.
For what?
Yeah, for 1.
Oh god.
And they cost the same number of points as a strike squad. So, like. I think there's a place for purifiers in a list now. I think that they're not bad.
Look, I think there's been a place for everything in a list except Land Raiders at this point, but I can see why you'd want Land Raiders, so it works out. I mean, God.
Then you have Preternatural Senses, the last one here, which is for your purgation squads.
For Overwatch on a 4.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah, my guys just took to Overwatch on a 4 with all of their silencers or psi cannons or whatever else they have, which is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
Man, great stratagems. Like, such a good list of stratagems.
Those might be the strongest stratagems I've seen out of any Psychic Awakening so far. Hands down.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I don't know if... Well, yeah. Like, the pure power level shift in that is pretty dramatic.
Oh, it's amazingly dramatic.
Yeah.
So Dominus
Discipline. So first of all, since every unit...
Do you think they're running out of names, by the way, for disciplines? Like they were just sitting there going, oh man, what are we going to call the Grey Knights? We've already used Indominus, which would probably work great. What if we just take the in off? Right? They're
just
almost Space
Dominus.
Marines, but they're not. So we'll take the in. So they're not in Space Marines. We'll take that out. And then a Dominus.
That's pretty funny, actually. I did not pick up on that, but that's an excellent observation.
Yes. Well, that's what I do. I look at books for jokes. You look at books to break people's spirit.
I do like breaking people's spirit. So first one, warp shaping. We know it. We love it. It's really great. It just changed to one of the selected tides of the warp. It's on
I just like that you could do it every round.
Hell yeah.
I
it's
want
so
to be
cool.
Blood Angels this turn.
Yep.
I want to be, Jesus. I want to be Thousand Suns this turn. Smite damage out the butt. Good lord.
So we've got Armored Resilience, which is Warp Charge 6. Grey Knight's Infantry unit gets their -1 to wound. Very, very powerful.
Yep.
You've got Ethereal Manipulation. This one is really interesting. So you target a Grey Knight unit within 6 inches of the Psyker, and if that unit is within half range of their weapons, they get to reroll to hit rolls. Which is cool. Like, it's very powerful.
Super good.
Yep. You've got Edict Imperator, which is... So this one is really interesting. It's a psychic version of Eldar's Fire and Fade. So what you do is you cast the power, the unit immediately shoots in the psychic phase, and then moves.
Yeah, no, I saw that, and I thought that was really good.
It's really neat.
You move up, psycher them, shoot, move behind a wall.
Yep.
Just good.
Or, potentially since this gives you another move, you could get in range of an objective or move up the table. Like, it's...
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is you can't shoot again or charge, which means that,
But you still get to move twice, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah, especially if you're fast, so...
Sure. Then you've got Imperium Domination. This is a Warp Charge 7. Gain a command point.
This is the one they previewed.
Why wouldn't you cast this every turn? Seems like a no-brainer.
With as many psychers as you have, you would.
Yep.
100%.
For sure.
Well, you need it because your stratagems are amazing, so you definitely want to get as many CP as possible.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely a double battalion army now, I think. Like, you want to take 2 battalions of Grey Knights.
Probably. Easily.
And then Inner Fire. This one is an interesting one too. Warp Charge 5. Select an enemy. Okay.
I like this one just for the sheer random go F yourself psych ability. All right?
Yeah.
Listen, because there isn't a range on it. First off, you just select an enemy unit. Oh, I guess it's within an inch. Okay.
So you have to be in combat with them.
So I wasn't looking for an inch.
Oh,
I was looking for like a larger number, like 12 or 18 or something.
Sure.
But
the stuff you Google on the internet. I got it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't Google one. I can tell you that. Roll the number.
No, you got to live with it every day.
I just like the randomness. So I'm not John. So you roll 2d6, right? And to pass, you're already passing on a 3, so you only have to make a 3.
If you roll 2d6, +2, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you're rolling 2d6. You're probably rolling a 7 or an 8.
So let's say you roll a 7. That's a 9.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have 9d6 you roll for this.
Yep.
For every 1, all right, you take a mortal wound. But for every 6, is it 6 or is it no? For every 3,
3+.
3+. So you have a 1 in 6 chance of taking a mortal wound versus a 66% chance of doing a mortal wound to them.
Oh, for sure.
And unless they're Dark Angels, they're actually going to take it, right?
Or Iron Hands. But yeah, you're right. So I think it's a cool power. Like it's one that I would take.
It's super cool. Well,
I actually like it.
You take the entire thing because you have like 52 psychers in your army already.
Well, I take it on Castellan Crow for sure because he's oftentimes in combat and he already gets a D6 damage smite, so I want him up there fast anyway.
Yeah, no, that's a good call, 100%.
And then he can cast both things and do a bunch of damage, and then when he dies, he gets to fight again. So yeah, Castellan Crow is great for that. And then we've got our relics. So first of all, the Grey Knight relics in the original book are pretty lackluster. Like they're pretty bad. Like let's just be honest, they're not great.
All right, so
like they're outdated because the new relics that have been coming out are very powerful, and those relics are very much less so.
So far from what we've seen, Danny, you would go ahead and call this the Grey Knight Codex 2.0 in the lines of Chaos Codex 2.0 or Space Marine Codex 2.0. As far as shift.
Oh, I mean, it's not quite as dramatic as Space Marines to Space Marines 2.0, but it's closer to that than Chaos 2.0.
All right.
So Relics of Titan, you've got the Blade of the Forsworn, which is a Nemesis Force Sword upgrade, +1 Strength, -3 AP, flat 3 damage, which is nice. And if you attack a demon unit, they don't get invulnerable saves.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, I like it because. Yeah. It's super fluffy, just nuking demons.
I think that actually might be the worst one out of all of these relics, which is
possible,
cool.
But it's still super fluffy.
Oh, it is. Oh,
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Santic Shard, and this one is you get to reroll psychic tests, and you get +1 to psychic tests.
Yeah, that's what you needed. That's what they needed.
Let's see here, and then you have the Algorium Scrolls. This is probably my favorite relic out of all of them. I think it's fun. I like army buffing relics.
Oh.
So more or less, it gives you Death to the False Emperor on 6s to hit against everything.
When resolving an attack made with a nemesis weapon by a model in a friendly Grey Knights unit within 6 inches of a model with this relic, and the unmodified hit roll is 6 scores an extra hit.
Oh, sorry, an extra hit, not an extra attack, so it's even better. Well, arguably better.
Well, because 6 is always hit, so it doesn't matter. So if you got a 6, you get a 6 to hit, you're automatically hitting.
2 hits.
Yeah, now you're getting 2 hits.
Yep. And it's not affected by minuses to hit.
And it's not the person. It's units.
Right, and it's the person too. So.
So he just runs right behind them, going.
Yeah, I'll just take it on a librarian or something like that, and run him up behind, and just like, or somebody,
or a chaplain.
Yeah, sure, a chaplain. Chaplain would be good for that. Because then he can give them reroll to hit rolls or something like that.
Yeah, you give him something.
Or a grandmaster with a demon hammer. That'd be a good choice too. Because then he gets extra hits on 6s. Anyway.
God.
So then you have the Staff of Supremacy. This one's pretty cool. So you replace a warding staff. He has an 18-inch bubble. If an enemy psyker casts a power on double, they perils.
Yeah,
that's cool.
On doubles.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good. If they have psychers, it's great.
I gotta be honest. I like the Nemesis. I like the other.
The blade.
I like the blade better than that.
Ooh, I think I like the staff better. I think.
Because the thing is I wouldn't be casting. I'd be doing my best not to cast in that bubble. Like I would try to avoid it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I could work around it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Whereas dude with a kick-ass sword just is in my face no matter what. So.
Yeah, but then he's got to take a sword and not a demon hammer. So anyway. So then you have the Artisan Nullifier Matrix. This one is really cool. This is another great one.
This is what the fans wrote to get rid of 2 and 3 of the first of the Matrix trilogy, right?
That's pretty good.
I told you, I looked through the book to find jokes. Been sitting on that for however long we've been recording.
Fantastic. Nice job, Dave. So this is for a librarian model. Once per turn, when you cast a psychic test with him, you can change one dice roll by 1.
Very Zinchian of these loyalist non-Space Marines.
This is a really great ability because, like, it effectively means that you are getting off the powers that you need to get, especially if you're trying to cast a bunch of smites. Like, the one that's going to be a perils, you can change it to not perils.
Yeah.
And then it goes off, too, because you have a +3.
Yep.
That's awesome. And then you have Etheric Conduit, and this is on a Tech Marine model. This one's kind of interesting because you don't see a lot of Tech Marines. Yeah.
Oh.
Who are also Psychers.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. Yeah.
Naturally.
So this lets the Tech Marine heal 2d3 damage, which is great for a Nemesis Dread Knight. So if you hang out with a Nemesis Dread Knight, you can repair him 2d3 damage, which is pretty cool.
But not good for anybody playing against a guy with a Nemesis Dread Knight and a Tech Marine running around behind him.
Yeah, sorry about you. All right, so those are the relics of Titan. And then we're going to get to the litanies of purity. So whereas other chapters automatically get a litany, Grey Knights don't get that. They just get 6 of their own.
Yeah, so from a fluff standpoint, it makes perfect sense that they would have something completely different because they're all psychers, so their litanies are not just boisterous words and bolt guns to the back of people's heads.
Well, it's boisterous words telepathically.
Right, you know what I mean? You're using your mind to do this instead of chanting loudly.
Exactly.
I mean, they say litany, but they're not litany.
So you got the Litany of Faith, which is a 5-up feeling of pain against mortal wounds. Not bad.
Yep.
You've got Words of Power. So you pick a friendly Grey Knight unit within 6. When resolving an attack made by this model, it has a random damage characteristic. You can re-roll the dice for the damage.
I mean, that's really solid.
That's really good, yep.
Because almost everything has...
all the Grey Knight weapons, for the most part, are D3 damage.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're all...
Because they're all force weapons.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty
Except
good.
for the Demon Hammer. That's just flat 3, because it's a Thunder Hammer. Then you have Atonement for guidance. You pick a Grey Knight unit within 6 inches. When resolving an attack with this model, you ignore to hit roll penalties for ballistic skill.
Yep. So you ignore everything. You
hit on 3s.
You're a Raven. I'm going to fire these heavy weapons, hit on 3s. Well, it's a -1 because I'm flying. No, it's not.
Or you litany a Dread Knight, so when you move them around, you're not taking the penalty for it.
Well, you won't take the penalty and still be able to hit on 3s to those dastardly Eldar planes.
Exactly. With all of his heavy weapons.
I managed to get my Eldar planes down to a -5 to hit. Did you? Oh, that sucks.
That's cute. Bop, 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 bop.
I ignored it. I ignore your psychic powers.
Then they have Refrain for Convergence. If this litany is inspiring, when you get +3 for that model's deny the witch attempt, which is cool.
Yeah, for the chaplain to deny.
And he'll be in total a +4.
There's things like this is the reason I don't run psychers in my army.
Well, you'll just have to cast psychic powers outside of 24 inches of him, Dave. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Or whatever the buff is. I think you made it up to 60 inches using like 6 different CP stratagems.
So they have the recitation for projection. Select a Grey Knight's unit within 6 inches. Add 6 inches to the range characteristic of bolt weapons and psi weapons that the unit's equipped with.
If there's anything that I know that things need, especially Grey Knights at this point, for their Stormbolters to have an extra 6 inches plus 2 damage minus 5 AP or whatever it was you said earlier. I think they're
strength 6.
I'm gonna make this story grow for the Grey Knights.
2 damage.
It's strength. Now we're up to strength 7, flat 5 damage, and -10.
Nice.
AP. So
that's really good. I want one of those.
The fishtail's getting bigger. It's like Tyson was telling the tale. Oh, I got Dave with my Grey Knight Terminators that came down, and with their Stormbolters, they just... I was hitting like...
They killed an entire repulsor.
I was hitting on -2s. I just automatically hit, and then also it was like 12 shots per person.
I told Dave to just bend over, and then I shot him with a bunch of Stormbolters, and he died.
Oh, wait. Tyson doesn't have any Grey Knights anymore. Never mind. I don't have to worry about that.
I have all of his Grey Knights. All right, so then you have the Invocation of Focus. You pick a Grey Knight unit within 6 inches. When resolving an attack by this model made with a Nemesis weapon or psi weapon, improve the armor penetration characteristic by 1 for that attack.
I mean...
So this lets you get your Stormbolters down to -2 AP.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah, so Grey Knights, super awesome. Dave, you want to come up with a name?
For Grey Knights?
Yeah.
I think they... Oh, sorry. I was coming up with a completely different name. I was going to call them BS. I was going to say Silver Guys.
I thought you were going to say bullshit.
Well, that's why I said BS. So I was like,
Okay.
oh, what's the name for them? Bullshit. There it is. The 34.
Okay, 34. Zeradon.
Ooh, that's a good name.
That's pretty cool.
We're going to go 66 for this one.
Ooh, all the way down. Zeradon Santor.
It started off so strong. Xantors? I don't know.
Santor.
I don't know.
Yep, Santor. Not Santor.
So that's the Grey Knights. No, and also you'll notice there's no data sheets in here. There's still the points values,
Well, there is one data
which
sheet.
you guys should have already seen.
Yep.
So there's no changes there.
There is one data sheet. The chaplain. That's it.
Oh, right. The
Yep,
chapter.
but that's it. All right. So now we're moving on to the most provocative choice in here, the Thousand Sons. How do you feel about Thousand Sons, Dave? What do you think about it?
I think the Thousand Sons have gotten. I mean, they previewed that they gave them cults, right?
Yep.
Which I kind of like, and at the same token, I like the ability to make your stuff a little bit different. And
Sure.
give them just certain different abilities.
Yeah.
I think the Thousand Sons came out. Well, until you went through the Grey Knights with me, because I didn't have a chance to actually read it. I thought the Thousand Sons came out the best in the book.
Okay.
But you crapped all over that by showing me the Grey Knights. And the thing I like about this particular picture, Danny,
Yeah.
if you look down here and through
There's
the
all
thing,
the tentacles.
you see the tentacles too. But in almost all the pictures you see in this book, it's always a single squad of Dark Angels and a single squad of Grey Knights. And now, actually, after having seen the Grey Knights rule set, I can understand how they still beat Magnus. Because
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like every single image of them in here is like, oh man, those guys are dead. Definitely. Never mind. That was my
No,
bad.
maybe they actually
I didn't
have
know
a
how
chance. I don't
good
know.
they buff. I didn't realize they buffed them that good. When other people in other podcasts have been saying for years that who play testers were saying that, man, when you see the Grey Knight stuff, you'll be like blown away, and the rest of us were like, that's not possible. You basically have to rewrite the Grey Knight's codex from the ground up and give them a whole bunch of extra stuff to make them on par with anything. And GW's never going to do that. Well, we were wrong. GW did that.
Good job, GW.
That's it.
It's
way
so good.
whew.
Like, don't they like so sorry, we're talking about
We're
Grey
sidetracked,
Knights, yeah.
totally.
But like, aren't you glad that you can like think of Grey Knights and not think, okay, well this game I've got in the bag, right? Like it's gonna be like a game
No, I
like,
was a huge
oh
fan
man,
of that.
This is gonna be an action
As a non-Grey Knights player, I was a huge fan of that.
Well, I'm just glad that like everyone's gonna come to parity a little bit more, and that's what's really important to me. Like, as a player, for
balance
sure.
for sure, 100%. But now I'm actually have to think when I play Morris's Grey Knights. Before I just was like, well, that's dead. I win. The thing I'm actually 100% glad about, Danny, is this book release is after the cutoff for LVO.
So you won't have to play against them.
Because I could see people not having enough practice playing against the new and improved Grey Knights.
Oh, and they could just ruffle stomp some people. Yeah,
Grey Knights
for sure.
Grey Knights win LVO 2020, and people, the internet everywhere just goes nuts. Yes, Fred, my hands are moving because I'm talking like an Italian lady, and that wasn't because I wanted you on my lap so that I could pet you. I get, okay.
Nothing like a 60-pound
You're
lap
such a
dog,
good-
huh, Dave?
So good.
All
Such a
right.
good boy. Now get down.
So, the Sons of Magnus. So, Thousand Sons get 9 different cults to choose from.
It's so fluffy.
It's so fluffy. Yeah.
At the risk of getting a copyright flag. It's so fluffy!
So we've got the Sons of Magnus. They get 9 different cults. Now, when you take a cult, your entire detachment has to be from that cult. So in order to get the benefits, your entire detachment has to be. You don't count cultists. You don't count Zangors, and you don't count named characters.
Right.
So Armin and Magnus will never get any of these cult abilities.
Thank God. Because there's...
we don't want them to be. I don't know. It might be kind of broken if Magnus got some of these abilities.
I think of one specifically. Yeah. Yes, very much so. That said, so I can't remember after I looked through this. Relics, there's no overall relics for Thousand Sons.
No.
Each relic,
there's not.
There's a relic and a warlord trait for each cult.
For each cult, correct. And there's also a psychic power. And the psychic power is automatically known, so they all know that psychic power in addition to other psychic powers they know.
Yeah, which I like.
Well, yeah, which is really good.
There's I was gonna say there was one thing in here that I couldn't remember reading that made I wanted to make sure it got pointed out, but I think you just did.
So they got Hateful Assault and Malicious Volleys, which are Bolter Drill and Shock Assault that normal Marines get.
Right. I can't remember now. There was something that made me go, whoop, that, thank God they said that. But I think it was the name characters for Magnet.
Oh, that makes sense.
Characters. Because, yeah, I could see Ahriman with some of this stuff, or, you know, just a ton of different stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, brutal. Disgusting.
So the Cult of Prophecy is the first one, and this has the psychic power is called Divine the Future. Warp charge 6. Roll a d6 and set it to the side. You can replace it with to hit roll, charge roll, advance roll, to wound roll, save for a Cult of Prophecy unit, which is so cool. It's kind of like the Zinch dice from Age of Sigmar, or Miracle dice. You kind of get a Miracle dice, which is.
I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. It just very Thousand Sunny, in my opinion.
And it's got low warp charge. Warp charge 6 is pretty low. And then you've got once per. So you've got the Warlord trait is guided by whispers once per turn. When you Overwatch, you can move 6 inches after you Overwatch. Yeah. So like Eliminators, right?
Yeah. No. I really like that actually, because you can just kind of go woink, and then bounce out. You know. It's really strong in my opinion.
Yep.
As far as it goes.
Oh, for sure. And then you've got the Pythic Brazier, or Brazier. Sorry.
Nope. Like the way you said it.
Brazier. When a unit within 6 inches of this model is chosen to shoot or fight with, you can reroll 1 to hit roll, 1 to wound roll, or 1 damage roll.
So you get. First, you become an Eliminator Sergeant, and then you become a Salamander.
Well, for all units within 6 inches of him.
Oh, good. They can all become Salamanders.
Which is really good, actually.
Oh no, it is good. It is good.
Yeah, that's very powerful.
Yeah.
So we're happy about that one. That one's pretty good. Cult of Time is one of my favorites because I like recursion mechanics. So they did preview Time Flux, which lets you bring models back from the dead, which is really cool.
Yep.
Full wounds. Then you have Immaterial Echo. During your psychic phase, if your warlord manifests a psychic power with a result of 9 or better, you can attempt to manifest an extra psychic power that phase. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very Thousand Suns fluffy. You know, like their Super Thousand Suns. I like it a lot.
Yep.
And then you get the Sorceress Arcana, and that's what I like. First off, one of the things I like is that they call all of the relics Sorceress Arcana.
Yeah, right. Well, I think that's what they're called in the Thousand Suns.
I just really like
relics.
It's rather than relics. I'm gonna. If somebody's like, all right, and for my free relic, I was like, oh, sorry.
This is Sorceress Arcana.
You have to. Does the rulebook give you free Sorceress Arcanum? You get a free relic. Do you have any relics? No, you're gonna have to pay for that.
All right. So then you have. This is. I really like this relic, the Hourglass of Manat. So what this is when your warlord dies. He just comes back to life with D3 wounds remaining, placing 1 inch away. So automatically, you don't have to roll for it. It's not like the Phoenix Gem that does damage. It's really cool.
Or Bobby G, that you have to get back up on a roll.
Oh yeah, you have to roll for it.
So it's just, he does it. Thousand Suns get back up better than Bobby G.
Magic.
Thank God you cannot give that to Magnus.
Yeah, that would be busted.
Good.
So then you've got the Cult of Mutation. So this one has Warp Reality. Oh, I really like this psychic power. Basically, you pick a piece of terrain on the table, and then within 18 inches of the psyker, then you pick a unit within 3 inches of that, and it Thunderfire cannons them more or less. So they're half move, they're -1 to advance, and charge rolls.
That's so much better than Tremor Shells.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. It's so much better than Tremor Shells.
It's pretty good. Well, you don't have to waste CP on it, right?
Exactly. You don't have to waste CP. You don't have to remember to do it at the start of your turn of the shooting phase, otherwise you fail. You know, it's just half
cool.
And subtract 1 for advance and charge. Sick.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. It's really good. That probably makes the whole thing for me. Like, I think that's the best part. And then you've got a Warlord trait. When resolving an attack made by a melee weapon with your Warlord, if you roll a natural 6 to hit, it does 1 mortal wound in addition to other damage.
Thank God nobody has ways to negate mortal wounds easily.
Lazarus coming into his own.
Oh, well, nobody can use Lazarus.
Well,
he doesn't have any points.
Well, you can play power level games, Dave. Okay. And then the Sorceress Arcana, you get a really good mutation, which gives you +1 strength, +1 toughness, +1 attack, which is pretty cool. It's sorcerer only, so you can't give it to a demon prince. which is good because if on a Demon Prince that would be absolutely stupid.
Yeah, it would. It would be so stupid. So
then you have Cult of Scheming. I really like their psychic power. Warp Charge 6. You pick a friendly Cult of Scheming unit within 24. The unit can shoot and charge this turn even if it fell back. Oh,
always good.
very powerful.
Always good.
Then you've got Grand Schemer. This basically gives any friendly units within 3 inches objective secured, more or less, because that's what Disciples of Tzeentch is. And if they already have Disciples of Tzeentch, then they count as 2 models instead of 1 model, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then you have Shakithil's Theorem. I'm not going to try and pronounce that. That is a ridiculous...
You literally just pronounced it. I think you pronounced it correctly, to be honest.
Shakithil's? Yeah. Chiquita Bananas Theorem. And this one...
I was gonna say taquitos.
Taquitos Theorem. That's just diarrhea, Dave.
Well, that's a really powerful relic then.
Once per battle, you can use it. Select any stratagem that you have, and it costs 0. So you get a free stratagem for a relic.
I mean, that's
cool.
Yeah, that's a fair trade.
Especially if it's like a 3 CP stratagem or something like
that.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Okay, so Cult of Magic is probably the second best one in my mind. This is a really, really good ability. So you get Astral Blast, the psychic power, which is a good one. Warp Charge 6, pick a closest unit within 9 inches. So remember, 1,000 Suns get plus 6 inches to the range of all their powers. So this is a 15-inch range, right?
Stupid, another 6 inches. Just.
And visible to the psyker, they take D3 mortal wounds, and then each other unit within 3 inches of them takes 1 mortal wound. So, and it specifically says that Brotherhood of Sorcerers only increases the first range, not the second range, because if it was then also a burst of 9 inches, that would be really gross.
Oh.
So this power combos up super well with the Warlord trait. And the Warlord trait is whenever the Warlord manifests a psychic power that inflicts 1 or more mortal wounds, it inflicts an extra mortal wound. So it does 2 mortal wounds to everybody within 3 inches of the first unit that gets hit. That's amazing.
God, that is so strong.
Yeah, so that guy is a blaster. He can really blast some guys. Then you have the Arcane Focus is to Relic as well. And this one is when a psychic test is taken for this model, they get +1 to the total. So they get an extra +1 to cast, which is very good.
So you get an extra +1 to just blast out some dudes, just blasting dudes left and right.
Oh, man, it's so much blasting.
Oh man, God help any Sisters of Battle that they play against.
Yeah, nobody wants to get blasted that hard. All right, so you've got Cult of Knowledge. Cult of Knowledge is really cool. They have Psychic Delve, Warp Charge 6. Pick an enemy unit within 18 inches until your next psychic phase. When resolving an attack made by that unit against a friendly Cult of Knowledge unit, reroll its wound rolls of 1. So it's like a mini Doom, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
And then they've got the Warlord trait is Ardent Scholar. When you take a psychic test, reroll dice rolls of 1. Also very good. And the Warp Flame pistol they have is kind of neat. It becomes pistol D6 at strength 6 -2 AP and auto hits at 12 inches, which is not bad. That's a neat little pistol.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's solid.
Yeah. Cult of Change. They have Disturb Reality, Warp Charge 6. If the power is manifested, select an enemy unit within 12 inches of them until your next psychic phase, which subtract 1 from their attacks and leadership characteristic.
Down to a minimum of 1.
Yep, pretty good.
Yeah.
And then you have Fickle Nature. You can reroll charge rolls made by the Warlord, and you can shoot and charge in a turn in which it fell back.
Again, more
not bad.
Falling back and charging.
It's really good on a Demon Prince. So you could like charge in, fight something, kill stuff, and they try to lock you in combat, then you can fall back and still assault.
Sorry, I was mathing whether or not a Demon Prince could actually benefit from this. But yeah, you're right. Sure. Yeah, no, that's a wing, like a... oh, good lord. What's the major demon of Tzeentch?
The Lord of Change?
Lord of Change, thank you.
Yeah.
Like on a Lord of Change?
You can't do it on him, because he isn't a 1,000 Suns model.
He's not a 1,000 Suns? Really?
No, he's a demon of Tzeentch.
That's dumb.
No, I'm glad he doesn't have this. That would be dumber.
Overpowered? Yes, probably.
So then they did preview the Capricious Crest, which is the relic, and that lets you, when a friendly unit casts a psychic power within 12, you can change 6 to a 1. And this is once per turn. So, and then if an enemy unit with an 18 casts a psychic power, you can change a 1 to a 6 for friendly units, a 6 to a 1 for enemy units. Sorry, I misspoke in the first one.
Yeah. It's neat. It's not broken, but it's not that,
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good. So Cult of Duplicity, I think, is probably the best one out of all of them.
Hands down the best.
Really,
in my
really
opinion.
good.
But I'm bad at this, so don't judge me.
So they get Sorceress Facade. So Sorceress Facade is effectively the jump.
Is it?
Yeah, more or less. So you pick a friendly Cult of Duplicity unit within 6, which becomes 12.
Right.
Then remove it from the battlefield and set it anywhere up more than 9 inches away from the enemy.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot. Actually, I think I like both of these a lot that are on this page.
Oh, yeah, sure. Cult of Manipulation, that's a good one, too. So then it's, the Warlord trait is, you get to select D3 Cult of Duplicity units and redeploy them.
Yeah, that's
So-
just... Yeah, no, that's just great. I mean, just great.
Other people have to pay stratagems for, or CP for that. You won't have to do that with this. And they have the Perfidious Tome. This, at the start of each battle round, roll a d6. If you roll a 1, your opponent gains a command point. If you roll a 4 up, you get a command point. I think that's worth it.
Yeah, it 100% is, And then what's our next cult?
Even though I'll roll a lot of 1s and give my opponents command points, at least they'll be friendly to me.
Yeah.
Alright, so you've got Attempted Possession from the Cult of Manipulation.
Manipulation. I can't read it from where I'm sitting.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So I was like, it's upside down and angled backwards for me.
So you got the Cult of Manipulation. They get Attempted Possession as their psychic power. Warp Charge 6. Select an enemy character within 18 inches. They take 1 mortal wound, and until the start of your next psychic phase, when a psychic test is taken for that unit, subtract 2 from the result. So it's like an anti-psychic power debuff, which is cool.
The name threw me. Sorry.
Oh, Manipulation?
Possession is what.
Sure.
Just when it's like, it's called, attempted possession. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Like, you take control of them and get them to, then you get to shoot them immediately, or you get to do whatever.
Oh, that's a different psychic power that Thousand Suns already have.
Right, but I was like, that's sick. You get to, wait, you just do what? All right, a mortal wound, and they suck at psychics. That's still really good, but it's not as cool as the name made it sound to me.
Sure.
I was so disappointed. Like, I was like, they could have just called that,
Anything.
psychic baffling, or anything. What's a word for weakening something? Psychic fatigue.
Sure.
Could have called it.
Yeah.
Mental exhaustion.
Yeah. I suffer that every day. All right.
Especially when you have to deal with me. So.
Yes, very much so. Then you have the Warlord trait is Beguiling Influence. Subtract 1 from the attack characteristics of enemy units within 1 inches of the Warlord. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It really,
again, another solid one to reduce the amount of damage somebody can output.
And then you have Sorthus's Reflector, which is the relic. What this does is it allows you to pick a character model within 1 inch of your character with this relic, and as long as they have a leadership value of 9 or less, you get to pick one of their melee weapons and use that. So if they have like a relic melee weapon, you can do that. Now, it won't let you reroll to hit or to wound rolls when you're using their weapon, but
that is garbage.
Still pretty cool.
200% should have been able to reroll it. Wait, could you reroll it if you also had buffs that allowed you to reroll it?
No.
So you're not.
It says when resolving each of these attacks, you cannot reroll the to hit roll and cannot reroll the to wound roll.
That's sad.
But it's kind of cool. I don't know. I think
it's
there's
still
some
good.
cool stuff.
Yeah,
in
no,
it.
100%.
And this little
that
page,
Cult of Duplicity is
it's so good, man. Yeah, it's very good.
It made me want to start I was like, well,
and they get to. It's like they're liars, right? So, and they're like the most untrustworthy. All their names are.
They didn't do anything wrong, Danny.
Thank you for that.
And if you believe that, I've got a pie graph to show you.
All right, and then we've got their stratagems. So the stratagems, we've got the Magister stratagem, which lets you pick one of your characters and give them a Warlord trait. So you can have 2,000 Suns Warlord, which is really cool, or 1,000 Sun Warlord in and then a normal Warlord from another Chaos faction.
And again, this does say you can only use a stratagem once per battle.
Correct. So you can only have one extra Warlord trait. Then you have Infernal Fusillade, which they did preview. This lets a Rubric or Scarab Occult Terminators unit shoot twice with the rapid fire weapons.
God.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
Then you have Yoked Automata. And this is...
This name sounds like it should be way better than it is.
I think it's
just
really good.
It is, but just the name sounds way better.
It's pretty cool. It's a great name. Whoever picked that, you did a fantastic job.
You know they name these by just throwing darts at a board, right? Just put up a bunch.
False. I don't believe that.
I have been to Warhammer World. I saw the board. I was in Duncan's painting studio.
So this lets you basically, if somebody charges one of your characters that's not a Zangor within 12 inches of one of your Rubric Marine squads, either Scarab Occult or actual Rubric Marines, you can make a 2d6-inch heroic intervention, which is really cool, like, especially if you're getting those Terminators in there to like potentially
keep them around your character.
Yeah.
And somebody charges you 2 CP and they get to charge. They get to counter charge.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I like it.
Didn't want to take my Overwatch? Well, here, take a bunch of extra power sword attacks.
Yep.
Then you've got Risen Rubricae. This was also previewed. This lets you set up, basically lets you infiltrate your Rubric Marine squads, which is pretty cool for 1 CP. 1 Rubric Marine squad, I should say.
Yeah, you can only use it 1 per turn.
Yep. Yeah, once per battle.
They really have seemed to have, like, they listened to, after seeing the Space Marines Codex and the playtesters say stuff about it, it's like they were like, all right, maybe we should start putting this once per battle thing on,
that seems like maybe
on all
a good
the
idea.
CPs we go from now on.
Then you've got Sorceress Infusion. Again, I love recursion mechanics. So whenever you cast a spell or a psychic power and get a 9 or higher, you can either heal D3 wounds to the model that you cast, which is great. Or if they're in a unit, you can bring back You can bring back a model at full health.
It's crazy.
That's pretty cool. So if you get a 9 or better on your like a sorcerer in a big unit of Scarab Occult, like you can just bring back a Scarab Occult model for 1 CP. That's pretty cool.
It's really good. I like it a lot.
It's a cool one. Then you've got Indomitable Foes. This is one of the better ones out of here. Whenever somebody targets a Rubric Marine or Scarab Occult Terminator squad, you can just give them +1 invulnerable save.
You're telling me, Danny, that one of the better stratagems in this book is improving an invulnerable save by 1?
Yeah, on a unit
that can't be true.
Already has a good invulnerable
Improved
save.
invulnerable saves are dumb. No, that's so good.
It's really cool.
That's so good, and it balances out nicely if you've got the Raven Wing guy with the -1. You're like,
Sure.
whoop, I gotta get my...
So remember too that Thousand Suns have Weaver of Fates that they can cast on a unit to also give them +1 invulnerable save, and both Scarab Occult and the Rubric Marines, if they are attacked by a 1 damage weapon, they get +1 to their saves.
+1 of their regular saves.
No, +1 to their saves. It's both. It's invulnerable and armor saves.
Solid.
For sure.
Yeah.
So even though this
start off with
maxes
a
out
5-up, right?
Yeah.
So if they get attacked with that, they can get to 1. Then with this or with any other choice, you can get down to 3, no problem.
Right, and technically speaking, since it's a +1 to your save roll from the All Is Dust rule, they can technically be a 2+, kind of, if they're attacked with 1 damage weapons. So that's cool. That's the thing that they can do.
Depends on the order, because this can improve it past 3+.
Right.
You
So
have
the
to do it in
save.
you're gonna have to do it in the right order to get to that 2+ invuln.
Well,
but
so the save doesn't get better than a 3+, but the other thing gives you a +1 to your roll, whereas
Right.
this actually improves the save itself.
yeah,
So that's the difference. So just be aware of that. And then you have Adepts of the Immaterium. And this one you use when a Thousand Suns Psyker suffers perils. They just don't. How about I just don't instead?
yeah. No, I like that because
And I lost a lot of Psychers when I played them the other weekend to perils. I feel like I lost a lot of wounds to that.
Yeah.
And this would have saved me a lot of wounds, which
a
were
lot
really
of
nice.
dudes.
So yeah. All right, Dave. You got one more name generation.
Okay. We're gonna go with 21.
21. Fail.
Does this name fail? There's no 21.
No, it is.
Oh,
It's fail.
Oh.
Phael.
God, that's awesome. All right, 45.
45. We've got
Please be eaten.
Actera. I was going to say Akira.
I think that's actually.
Actera.
Oh God, what was the Thousand Suns planet? I'm drawing a complete blank now.
So there's Soltarius, which is where
The
they
main
live
planet
right now.
The main planet they were on before.
Prospero.
Prospero. That's probably Prosperin for Eaton.
Probably.
Yeah. It's fail. Eaten.
Fail.
No.
The fail part is Prospero for eating. Yeah. Man, all right. So this book, right? Let's talk about. Let's give some overall impressions. Right.
This book is super good, Danny.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this coming into the meta.
I can tell. I can see your erection from here.
Don't tell anybody.
Thank God the camera's on a short, narrow angle lens, otherwise they could see it too.
It would have to be very wide angle. Anyway, so this book is great. Like, everything in it is really solid. The writing is great. I really like all of the new rules. They're really characterful and fluffy, but also really good.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to see Grey Knights get a huge bone thrown to them, right, overall.
I'm less excited about that, but at the same token, I'm
happy
glad.
for Grey Knights.
Anytime.
Right?
So I try to find, sometimes we've been accused of being a GW shill, and I will tell you, we 100% are. But that's beside the point. When we talk about something being good versus not good, and I'll go ahead and throw this out there, the number one unit out of the Chaos book, Chaos 2.0, that saw play, that we were some of the people that were like, hey, this is really good. Yeah, the Wound Rolls are too. The Disco Lords made it into like the top unit for a long period of time,
right,
for getting to top tables and stuff. So usually when we talk about something being good, it actually is. This is really good.
I'm really excited, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is a good buff for every single one of those units, or codexes, like across the board. And you are right, after reading it, I think Dark Angels came out the worst out of it.
Yeah, well, surprisingly so, right?
The Sons of the Lion get crapped on. I can't wait to watch Phil's review, because it's just going to be like...
They did not get crapped on whatsoever, right? They got a ton of really cool abilities, like...
if you read the fluff, if the Grey Knights hadn't shown up and been badass with new special abilities and awesome...
Well, they already had that stuff. It just wasn't represented. They were kind of... It was in reserve, right?
They were saving it. They didn't need to bust it off.
Right.
The Dark Angels were like, we'll stop Magnus. Ha ha! Oops, we're in trouble. And so the Grey Knights showed up and we're like, boom, 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 we got this. One squad, I think it was just one squad of Grey Knights showed up from what I'm reading by the rules. And Magnus was like, I'm out. Sorry, guys.
This is too many more.
This ritual of the damned is over.
Cancel. So, I think everybody came out of this smelling like roses. I'm really happy with, as a Dark Angels player, I'm pretty happy with the rules. There's some really cool stuff in there. And some combos I cannot wait to try. Them making Terminators so much better for Dark Angels is huge, and I'm very thankful for that.
It's very thematic and fluffy. Sure. I cannot wait to see your two heads talking and Slick Weasel on the table, Danny.
Stop.
I will never stop. That is never going away.
And I'm really excited about playing Grey Knights. I just got a new Grey Knights army. I'm very excited to put it on the table.
You know what? Here's the thing: is we knew this book was coming because they kind of previewed at it and talked about it a lot.
Yep.
And at this point, I feel like the guy that sold these to you was like, yeah, I gotta get rid of this stuff. I know I bought them from you in the first place. I just don't play them. They're not good. And it almost feels like you had super insider knowledge. And if it wasn't for the fact that I knew you did not have super insider knowledge, like
I took a gamble, Dave, and it paid off.
Please do that in Vegas so we can get comped into super rooms. Okay? That's all I'm saying at LVO.
All right, fair enough. I'll do what I can.
Holy smokes. Me and John will each give you $100. Please turn it into $1 million like you clearly did here. So good.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited.
You made me want to build and paint Grey Knights.
Yeah, and they're a cool army. Their models are awesome. The Terminator models for them are so cool. I got it back the other day, and I'm like, man, these models are actually really great.
So the first time I saw Nemesis Dread Knights, I was like, this model is amazing. And then, because Grey Knights kind of came around when I was in a hiatus, so I didn't really know them. And then when I saw the actual Grey Knight models, I was like, well, these look better than Space Marines, hands down. They do what? They're psychic? Super awesome? Oh, man, I totally want to build these. And the Nemesis Dread Knight was suddenly the least awesome looking one, in my opinion.
Sure. I just like the guys with halberds. I think halberds look really cool, so I was very excited about that.
So good.
So great book. Thousand Suns came out really great. I think they've got a lot of really cool options. They made Rubrique a lot better, which is great. I want to see them on the table more, and now I think I will.
Well, you also own a large Thousand Suns army, so you probably will see them on the table.
It's budding, I would say, because I bought a Thousand Suns army, painted some of it, and then sold it, and now I'm.
Who did you sell it to?
our friend Aaron.
Well, we should talk to Aaron before this video comes out.
Yeah, funnily enough, Aaron plays all 3 of these armies too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
John and I are the only 2 that are sad by this book because we currently don't play any of these armies and also now want to play some of these armies.
Oh man, they're so cool.
This is what GW has done it again. They've made me want to play a different army.
Dude, for real.
I almost bid on Blood Angels for a little while, but then I was like, nah, I can't be that guy. Blood Angels players are the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, now Dark Angels players are just, it's fine. The amount of crap they got to put up with, oh, Dark Angels are heretics. Woo!
I know, right? It's a lot of unnecessary
The
abuse.
lion is sleeping because his prince has not come along and kissed him yet. Yeah, we know. We get it. He's Sleeping Beauty.
I haven't heard that one before, but that's pretty good.
I literally saw it today. Yeah, no, this is great. Run out, buy this book. If you play any of these, definitely get this.
For sure. Or if you don't, know what your foe can do because things have changed.
Oh, yeah, no, I have to pre-order this because this is your copy of
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, like I wasn't going to get into a fisticuffs with you over this one. This isn't like the kids.
We could wrestle for it if
No,
you want.
thanks, I pass. I saw what you did to the Falcon. I don't need any of that. Yeah, no, I don't have anything else to add. I really like all of this. It was
Awesome.
good.
Yeah, me too. I am very happy overall. So thanks for tuning in to us to our book review. We do this. We try and do this every time a new book comes out.
We tried really hard to do Sisters of Battle after the box set came out, but it was during the same time that all of us were traveling and holidays and everything else.
It was bad. So we didn't get around to doing that, unfortunately. But the Sisters book is really good too.
Yeah, and it's out, so we'll get on that.
Yeah, we should.
But unfortunately, we're prepping for Vegas right now, so it won't be till after Vegas.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if you see us in Vegas, I know I'll be wearing Mob Rules regalia the whole time.
As will I.
So
we got
come up and
stickers,
say hi. Yeah, we'll hook you up with a
handshakes,
sticker.
hugs.
Yeah, I'm really good at hugging. I'm very, very good at hugging. So
that Lonely Island wrote a song about Danny.
Yeah,
The hugs.
The hugs. All the hugs. So if you like this video, subscribe to our channel. Check us out on iTunes or Podbean or wherever bad podcasts are found.
Yeah. iHeartMedia actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
totally.
Oh,
we're all over the place.
We are famous.
Yeah, we are not famous.
We're not famous. No.
We are idiots. And we're probably gonna die in Vegas.
But again, if you like this, idiots,
our Patreon has a $1 minimum subscription.
Oh yeah, come join our community.
You get access to our Discord, which is full of just dumb stuff.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
Awesome.
There's a whole
actual
channel
tactile advice, which surprised me.
There's also an entire channel of pictures of fish for Dave.
Yeah, fish that Dave likes.
Yeah.
You get to submit whatever you want to that. We do sometime when we do our podcast, which is bi-weekly, we sometimes do games where we get our listeners in from the Discord and play games with them.
Play games live. Yep.
Yeah. That was super fun last time we did it.
Yeah.
So, I've been Dave.
I've been Danny, and thanks for tuning in.